here you go. Go live. Oops. Now we're live.
Silly goose.
I'm such a silly goose.
Yeah, now we live.
Here you
Okay.
go. Go live.
All right.
Okay, now what I need to do is turn that down.
Yep, I just muted mine. Okay, we in there now. Boom, and I got a notification. See? So yeah, that was weird. It didn't send a notification that you started it, but then we got the notification when you went live.
Right.
It's cracky, y'all. We about to get cracky.
Got to get cracky up in here. All right. So yeah, because I have the mute on and I have the volume down. I want to make sure I can still hear you. Give me a 1, 2.
1, 2.
Nice.
Nice.
All right.
What's going on, Broke Farmer? How you doing, brother?
Broke Farmer.
In the building.
How you doing, man?
Yeah. I started to get down. I was like, how can I find a way to get in on this $20 grow challenge y'all got going on? And
hey,
then,
Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, growing with Jeff, how you doing, brother? And then I realized that, you know, my season's pretty much, if it ain't already out there, is it. And then the hydroponics, this hydroponics ain't gonna be $20. So
got that right.
Right. So yeah.
Got that right.
But I'm looking forward to watch y'all go at it. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. So let me move this out the way. Broke Farmer just chilling.
Hey, Muriel.
Hey, how are you? I'm gonna move this back out the way so we got some room to play. You know.
Camera look off.
Let a few more people come in and say hello to everybody. First, sorry for the delay on this. You know, life kind of gets in the way, regardless of how wonderful gardening may be. But we are here now. So thank you for popping in. We so thank you.
Hey, Gigi.
Hey, G.
No, it's not a cracky challenge going on. They're doing the Broke Farmer 76 and the Eco Neighbor. They put together this. It's just a grow off 2020 winter edition grow off that they're putting together, and you're supposed to take $20, one container. You start your seeds in January, and the whole idea is to see who can grow the most with $20 in one container, starting on January 1st. That's that $20 winter 2020 challenge that they got going on.
It actually would be a good cracky.
I'm about to say you could go cracky on it, but you would need to start from scratch, go get you a container. You know what I mean? Because I think you need to show your receipts or something.
That everything was then we're already out, because if we go with the one from Van Deezy, those were like already $25.
Exactly. Right. So we already lost with these containers. So I would have to get I know which container I would get, but I would have to get one of those other containers that would take like $5, $6 off. I wonder if you have to buy seeds though. You probably can't use the seeds that you already have. But he said, I'm into, and I will win. Seed or small
yeah,
plant.
because
Seed
if you did want to go cracky, I mean, all you had to do was get a shoebox.
Yeah.
And fill 2 little holes, get a couple of those, and you'd be ready to go.
You're good to go.
Oh, look, Jeff just said 55-gallon drum, $10. Boom. There you go. Boom.
Yeah. Go get on it, Jeff. Go get them in some real competition. Oh. Yeah, I'm over here starting stuff. Look, I'm on.
Yes, you are.
I'm on the sidelines hyping it up. Yeah, new plant, use your own container.
Oh, you got it, Gigi. Wonderful. Thank you. I was hoping you got it. Remember when she was tasting your wine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told her I would shoot her some, so I wanted to send her some for the holiday.
Oh, you did? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I sent her some of that golden bliss. Yeah.
It said Muriel Tillman. Oh, she said she fooled around and let the nutrients run out on a couple red mustards. She's trying to revive them.
Oh.
Muriel. She said she made her first mistake with the cracker.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah. Once they actually start to get to some size, they'll sneak up on you real quick and drink that water before you realize it.
Yeah.
You know, you would go days and you were like, the water's not moving, the water's not moving. You come back the next day, that water's gone. Yeah, so yeah, especially when you're growing in small containers like the mason jars and stuff like that, you really have to pay attention to your plants on a regular basis, a daily basis. But we're going to show you how you can take a 2-gallon tote and give you a little more time between waterings to work with versus the mason jar. So
yeah.
We all make mistakes. Don't add too much water, though. Absolutely, because by this time you really got some air roots going on in there. So I wouldn't even fill it up more than a quarter of the way. But you're going to have to keep putting water in there, keep putting nutrients in there, and pay attention until it's ready to harvest.
He said only a couple inches now that it ran out. Yep. Jeff, that's a good tips. Moral to me. You say you did black cherry and Concord grape. You know, I'll probably do that batch when probably this weekend. But I'll do mine probably a 2-to-1 ratio of 2 parts black cherry, 1 part Concord grape, because that Concord grape is so sweet.
And extremely sweet.
I'm not a huge fan of super sweet wine, so I already made that mistake in one of my batches and ended
up. Matter of fact, what I'm drinking now is my blackberry wine and super duper sweet. To me, I'm like you. I like dry wine. Someone who likes sweet wines would love this.
Right.
But yeah, it's a little bit on the sweeter side for me.
Yeah.
So it's more of a dessert wine for me, but that's okay. I'm going to drink it.
I don't really like wine, but that sounds good. Yeah. When you make your own, that's a game changer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because everybody's wine that you tend to taste is a grape. And not everybody's into grape wine because it has its own profile.
Yep.
You know, when you're making your own, you can play around, experiment, and just. Matter of fact, I just told Robert, like that white bucket right there. That's tomato wine. As a matter of fact, it's not tomato wine. I take it back. It's V8 wine. That's brewing up. So yeah, this was like the bottom of my fermenter. I didn't have enough for a full bottle, so.
Hey, I do the same thing. I got these little glass jars, and I'll just put some in the little glass jar. Especially when I'll steal from my batch when I rack them off. So I'll get my taste in. I'm like, okay, that's good. I get that from the top, and then when it's done racking, I take all the bottom, put them in a little glass jar, and I drink that because it's just a little bit of unsettled yeast. It'd be all right.
Yeah, yeast is good for you. It's actually good. That's probably the better part of the wine, to be honest.
Boom. So I drink it. No worries.
You have to use video on how to go live with the Zoom. Are you going to do a how-to on how to Zoom later?
What they say?
Broke Farmer wants to know how to go live.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll do that. I can do that. It's easy. Yeah.
That would be me, sweeter the better.
The thing is, you can't do it with the free account. So I don't know how many people would be interested in that. But yeah, you can't do it with the free account. Now,
not the way we talk. Not the way we talk. Let's put it that way. We go for hours.
Well, no, even with the free account.
The free account, you get 40 minutes. And if you can't wrap it up in 40 minutes.
Yeah, but it won't let you push to YouTube.
It won't let you push to YouTube with that? Really?
Okay, that's the only reason why I got the cheapest account that you have as far as paid account. I got the cheapest one so I could do this. But there's other things. I think it's called Streamlabs or something that I've seen.
StreamYard.
Yeah. That looks like it's probably a paid version as well that you can drop a link. I did see this kid, Aiden, if you've ever seen him pop in my chats, and he might even pop over here tonight just because if he's bored.
Hi, Best Jet. Hi, Best Jet.
What's going on, Polo? That's my man, Polo.
Hey, Polo.
Yeah, I got something for you right here, bro. There you go. Little 46 for you right there, Polo. But
he went for the sleeping pill.
I think I got your stickers today. I'm pretty sure they're around here somewhere. But Yeah. You have to have the paid account to do it. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah, so enough about wine. As much as I love talking about wine, we are here to talk cracky and speak on growing plants inside during these cold winter months.
Right.
We had a part one where we talked about how we started our seeds. In fact, you can see my babies here. Now, full disclosure, I had to restart my babies. Robert's is about 2 weeks ahead of mine. I came in to check on them one day and everything was like pretty much gone. I don't know where they went. I have my suspicions. I have a cat, but I don't have evidence. So but yeah, so I replanted my seeds. I have Pink Lady, Bok Choy, Bok Choy, Bok Choy. I can go. I have milk Bok Choy. I have some Tom Thumb peas here. I have some sort of micro tomato because they got shifted around. I don't know which one they are, but I think these are the orange hats here. I don't know if you see, yeah, orange hats here. And then I'm almost positive these here are my canary little birdie series tomatoes here.
Yeah.
And this here that's in desperate need of some nutrients is butter crunch lettuce. It may be, I'm going to experiment with this one because it may be too lanky to catch up, but doesn't hurt to pop one in. And if not, I got microgreens and I throw it in my salad. There you go. Why don't you show the people what you got going on, Robert?
Okay, so I have this is an orange hat tomato. I have my 4 tomato plants. This is the yellow tomato. This is the yellow, and I guess this is an unknown because I forgot to label it. So we'll find out when the fruit comes.
There you go, when the fruit comes.
And then the other ones are these Bok Choys, and like you guys, I planted 2 seeds for every single little wicking formation system that I set up. So I actually made a little terrarium with this to-go container for, I think this was probably a taco salad by the looks of this bowl, but it was probably a taco salad that this was in. I just had the lid. So what I did was I watered it. I put about a ½ inch of liquid in here, let them soak it up, and then I just took the lid and placed the lid right on top of it. And It was kind of like set it and forget it. Once they all sprouted and came up, I only had 1 seed that didn't come up, and it was one of the tomato plants. One of the tomato plants, only 1 seed came up. Everything else, I had double germination in every single little cup that I set up. So that was cool. And then I just came through, instead of pulling the roots out, I just came through as low as possible, and I snipped it. I snipped the weaker one out, just so I didn't have to fool with the roots of the plant too much. I didn't want to risk pulling up the plant and disturbing because some of them were pretty close. So I just let it be.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
That's how I prefer. When I'm going to thin out my plants, I prefer to just cut them. I don't want to go there.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why we use perlite and vermiculite, because in this state that I'm in, this is a microgreen state, other than the peas. The peas are a little more than microgreen, but they're a microgreen state, so the roots are very tender. So instead of having to break out dirt and all of that, rinsing it off, these will, if you're careful about it, will slide right on out without disturbing the roots too much.
Yep.
Okay. So what we're going to do in this video is the next step. Your microgreens have grown. They're starting to show second leaves, your true leaves. They are now ready for nutrients. Now, if you're in a situation like we were in and, light got in the way, and you can't put them in the nutrients water right away, once they start showing their second leaves, you will have to give them some kind of very, very weak nutrients just to keep them going. You don't want them to die off because they're starving. You can even, if you got really good water, really good taps, keep them moisturized talking about my hair now. Keep them moisturized in the with just some plain water, but you gotta get to the point where you're ready to start feeding these puppies. Okay.
Yeah.
I do have another, and I'm going to embarrass him now. I do have another master cracky person in here, and that's Jeff.
Yes, Jeff.
Growing something with Jeff. If you don't know him, go check him out. He's doing some amazing things on his channel when it comes to cracky. He's growing tomatoes and lettuce and peppers, and I think he's even got a pineapple going. I don't know if the pineapple's cracky, but he's doing some stuff. So he's a source of information when it comes to how to grow things cracky as well. So shout out to my boy. Oh, one more shout out, and then I'm going to veer off just the hair. Go get your shirt.
You see, she got the shirt. She got the turf therapy gear. Yeah, I just got my shirts in. So if you already placed the order, they're coming. They should be at your house anytime.
I got mine literally today, and I changed my whole idea of what I was going to wear. I said, no, I'm wearing my shirt. Do you hear me? I'm wearing my boy's shirt.
Appreciate it. And look, we was on the thing. She had to point it out to me because I didn't even realize it because I just got done with the 24-hour shift, y'all. So excuse me. Give me some leniency there. So I wasn't even paying attention. And then she was like, "Oh, you see?" I was like, "Oh, you got to see." We got a little. Yeah.
Oh God, let's see some of these comments a little bit.
Yeah, Jeff, he said, I'm lazy, so I tried putting the seed in rock wool, right in full strength nutrients. It worked.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and it worked out fine. And from what I can tell, it worked out fine. I've done that as well. As far as like rock wool, I think I've even told Jeff that when it comes to rock wool, I know it's user error. I'm hit or miss. My seedlings tend to dampen off with the rock wool or dry the heck out. I don't know why. I know it's user error. So once I figure that out, I'll probably go to rock wool. But so far, this method has worked really well with me. The method that we're showing is similar to something that, what is this channel? Keep It Growing with Mike Van Doozy.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And he's another one who's big on hydroponics, and we are actually using his system to step it up a little bit and go to totes. And we'll walk you through how we're going to mix the nutrients that he sent us and actually plant these puppies out. So the nutrient we're going to be using, which is going to be new for me, I've not yet done this, even though it's huge in the cracky world, is the master blend. And it's a 3-part system. He's been able to make it a 2-part system with the way he's mixed it up and sent it out to his customers. But it's one of those type of things where you are actually blending your nutrients. It's not like it's a Miracle Grow or anything like that. You are going to be responsible for the ins and outs of what you put into it. And I say that to say this, and I'll probably repeat it again. For me, one more time, for me, I'd rather be light on in nutrients and a fertilizer than heavy, because it's always easier to fix underfeeding than it is to fix overfeeding. Overfeeding will burn your plants, it's dead, it's gone. Underfeeding, they will give you some sign of saying, hey, I'm starving. They'll either wilt or leaves start turning a little yellow, something like that, and that's easily fixed.
Right.
Whereas once those leaves are burnt, they're burnt. That's it. There's no coming back from that. So that's one of the reasons why if I'm going to err on the side of anything, I'm going to err on the side of being light with my mixings than heavy. Okay?
Hey, Linda.
Hey,
Yeah. That's exactly what's in these blends too.
Yeah, exactly. Calcium nitrate, Epsom salt, and master blend. Yes, that's right. CB turned you on to that, didn't she, Lady Linda?
Yeah, CB.
CB, that's the other guy. Yeah, awesome
CB.
dude.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's get into it. So what we have here, let me move the important stuff out the way, so you guys can see. Yeah. I'm showing you a picture down from the top, my left.
That's right. So, demonstration.
So We got about a 2-gallon tote from Mike. In fact, let me see if I can angle it a little bit better this way. Okay, now I already have just plain tap water in here. I'm going to go in, before we close, I'm going to go into my thoughts about pH and pounds per, all that other stuff. I'll go into all that. For what we're growing, I'm really not stressing about it. And now, like I said, once I explain why, you'll get why you shouldn't stress about it. That's why I titled this the same way, Demystifying Kratky. It can be science. As you know, Robert and I are both very geeky people. We like that kind of stuff, but it doesn't have to be. So don't be afraid of this, okay? Anyway, so I got plain old tap water in here. If you want to use rainwater or use distilled water, whatever you want to use is fine, okay? What I will give you a caveat for, though, if you have water that you know is a higher end of the alkaline, that means it's higher than a 7 on the pH, or you have water that you know is heavier on the acidic side, which means it's closer to a 6 coming right out of your tap, you probably are going to want to use some kind of distilled water or rainwater, something like that, because that starting point is everything. Most water that comes out of the taps are usually going to sit between a 6 and 7. Matter of fact, I'm even going to bring it up a little bit higher. I'm going to say about 6.5 and a 7. All right, that's neutral. That's pretty much all water. Okay, but there are some areas where that can swing just a hair higher or a hair lower. And then once you add your nutrients to it, which also alters your pH, it may swing a little bit too far for your plants. So have a general idea of where your starting point is. Like I said, most people really don't have to worry about it. If you have the type of water where someone, when they sold you that house, said, that water is a little bit, you may want to get some like filtration on your water or something like that. Yeah, you may want to measure it. But if you walk into your house and no one said anything about the water, you're
probably good. Probably good.
Okay. All right, so we got a bucket here. Let me share with you what actually comes in the kit. Mike, for $25, you will get 2 sets of 2 totes, about 2 gallons apiece. You get, behind me, 2 lids with already pre-drilled with 4 holes in it, so you can put 4 plants or 2 plants or whatever you need to do as far as what you're growing and what your needs are. You also get full noodles, which will act like a cloning, what is it? Cloning collar. That's it, cloning collar. This will actually hold your plants. You don't need net pots, okay? This is way, way cheaper. He's kind enough to add them into the kit. But you can go to your dollar store, grab one of these, and you have a lifetime supply. Okay, so they're about an inch thick. You'd be a little thicker, a little shorter, but that's about all. So you get a bunch of these.
Yeah, like an inch.
He will give you 2 packets of the master blend setup, and he will also give you a microgreens tote. Or cedar start, he's already pre-cut it. And if you go to one of his videos, he'll show you exactly what to do to set this up. It's pretty awesome. Basically, all you're going to do is fill this up with water. You can add a little nutrients if you want to, but you don't have to, but it's just water. You put something wickable, whether it be paper towel or a shimmy, something like that, and you kind of view it over here. So one end will stick down in water here, one end will stick down in water there. And actually,
it just flips
sorry.
it.
Yeah, sorry. This way. And in here, he'll put some kind of growing medium. So for me, that would be what would be the perlite and perlite. You can also do seed starting mix, anything that's going to wick, or coca coir, anything like that, that will wick that water up and stay moist until your seeds germinate. Okay, So that's how this works. So he gives you one of these as well to start. And then once you actually have your microgreens ready, you can take a select few, pop them in your container, have those go to full fruition, and then click on the other ones, and you have your microgreens. Two for. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. So yeah, you guys. Matter of fact, I know I have a link to the Etsy store on here. So after all this is said and done, please go and check him out as well. I think you will like what he's got going on. So let me pause here before I really get going. Are there any questions so far about where we are and what we're doing? I know there's a little bit of
little bit of delay.
A little bit of a delay. So let me hold on. I clicked something. I still see y'all, don't worry.
Yeah, I don't see questions coming in. TNOG saying hey to everybody.
There it is. That's what I was
saying hey to her. Hey, Sister Sue. Sue, did you get your package? Did you get your package? Did you get a package from me yet? I know this mail has been crazy. If you haven't, surprise, you got another package on the way.
Okay, well, it doesn't look like there's any questions so far, so I'm going to move on. Now is the point where we're actually going to put our master blend in our totes. So,
well, I'm putting mine in this. I got a 5-gallon bucket down here, mixing all of mine in here in this bucket, and then I'm just going to dispense it to the 2 containers afterwards.
Right. And because I'm going to be mixing it directly into the water here, which is about 2 gallons, I'm going to split this in half. He gives you enough for 5 gallons in here. And he gives you 2 of those. So he gives you plenty. You have plenty to work from.
How much headspace should we be leaving? It looks like you got like 1 inch of headspace in your container.
I do. Thank you for asking that question. Now, if I were using a net cup, I would want the water to come just below it, below it. But because I'm using these noodles, I can actually put it down to where the root is sitting in.
Right.
Just want the root to sit into the water.
Right.
Okay. So I can adjust that on the lid. So you'll see what we're talking about.
Right.
Once we load these.
Okay.
But yeah, you don't want it all the way up to the top.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you are going to do a net cup, you want it below the net cup, especially in this position where you already have a root.
I'm gonna get a couple more scoops of. I got my rainwater, y'all, that I'm using for mine. So hope I don't regret that.
Yeah. Now remember when I was saying that when you're doing your own blending, you have to be a little specific with what you're doing, or it's going to be too much one way, too much the other. Being a geeky person, I have my own little gram scale. So I'm going to do that. And but I will again acknowledge my friend here, Jeff, on one of his videos. He broke it down to exactly in the way of a teaspoon how much you need per gallon if you're going to blend it up with using spoons. You don't need a scale. All right, he gives you approximates. And matter of fact, what I will do is once this goes up, I'll also put that in the notes, what the equivalent in the way of scoops would be. So thanks again, Jeff. All right, so I'm just going to turn.
Give Jeff the co-host.
Yeah, Jeff's co-host, and he didn't even know it. And we're going to remove the hair.
You said no, not the flag. I know you've been had that. You should be getting another one.
Okay.
Get another one, Stu. I'm glad you like the flag, though.
Oh,
what is
wow.
the pH of the rainwater? I believe it's 6.2.
Believe it or not, this plate is too heavy for my gram scale. Ah! So yeah, I actually am going to have to use Jeff's way of doing it. So if I remember correctly, it was 1/4 and 1/8 per gallon. So I have 2, so, oh, and then it's also a gram, so it's an 1/8 of the Epsom salt, and he's already got these pre-mixed, so we're just going to, I'm gonna have to wing it, y'all.
Donnie, Danielle. I feel like your friends call you Donnie, though. Do your friends call you Donnie, Danielle?
Yeah. Jeff wants to know what the Rainwater.
It was 6.2.
Yeah, so his is a little more acidic.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, okay, I'm glad you asked that, Jeff. And I wish I had asked you that first. Dang. 6.2 is on the acidic side.
Mm-hmm.
When you add nutrients, it's going to become even more acidic.
Let's see. Let me test it right here. Let me see. And get done. Because I just mixed my stuff in here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not 6.2 anymore. It's 6.9.
Okay, it probably just needed to settle.
Yeah, and that was me guessing from what the last time it was. So
okay.
It's not like I took a measurement from it and then put it over here. That was me guessing from the last time I took a measurement. So it's 6.9 now. So
okay, so just as half teaspoon is about 2.2 to 2.3 grams, and you need that for a gallon. So I got a
6.9 will work.
teaspoon.
Cool. All right, yeah, we're at 6.9. So I probably just did a bad guess. I didn't actually measure it.
Yeah, you should be good.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a half teaspoon, that's 1, and half teaspoon 2. Now you have to mix these in order. You want the master blend first, and then the Epsom salt next. Now he's mixed the Epsom salt and the master blend together, so I think he's come up with some, madness on how that works on its own. So you mix that in first. So I got a whole teaspoon in there. We're going to mix this up really well. You want to get it to a point of dissolve so you don't see it anymore.
Mine turned yellow. It looks like well hydrated urine.
Yes. Yeah, the lights are kind of funny here, but it looks the same here as well. That's funny.
It's like I've been drinking plenty of water. That's what that looks like. Yeah, Jeff said a half teaspoon master blend, half teaspoon of calcium nitrate, and a half a teaspoon of Epsom salt.
Quarter teaspoon.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to do 2/4 on the calcium for the 2 gallons. So this is for.
So you're okay. You're saying, okay,
That's 1 gallon.
Oh, a gallon.
And that's 2 gallons.
So I can go ahead and I can put this. I can go ahead and transfer, so I can catch up with you because yours is already in your container.
Yeah, and it takes a little bit for the calcium to dissolve. So.
Oh,
yeah.
While you were talking, I went ahead and dumped mine.
Oh, okay. You could see, I'm mad because I should have had a 5 gallon, but like I said, all of mine are occupied right now. So I gotta mix in as we got it. So
with that sweet stuff, and you know what? Yes. All of mine would have been preoccupied as well, but I hadn't gotten my juice in that I ordered. I ordered this special juice because I'm gonna do Amarone. I'm gonna try my wits at doing a DIY blend of Amarone. You know what that is? Yeah. So I got some Valpolicella juice from Italy.
Nice.
And it just came in yesterday or the day before yesterday, but yeah. I had to work 24 hours straight, so I haven't gotten to it yet. I'll probably blend that up this weekend as well. And then these containers will no longer be, my extra 5 gallon containers will no longer be available. I actually went and picked up some grommets from my little brewery place. and I'm taking the Tractor Supply Company food grade 5-gallon buckets, and I'm gonna use that for these bigger batches because it's 3 gallons of juice. So
hey, Love Notes. Hey,
so
Suzette. I think I just, and Daniela. I think I just caught those guys come in. Hello, everybody that's just joining us. Let me catch up on some of this reading too. 6.9 will work on your reading, so you're good there. Half teaspoon master blend, half teaspoon of calcium nitrate, and a quarter teaspoon Epsom salt. Epsom salt is a buffer between the master blend and the calcium nitrate. It also gives you that level of sulfur that you need as well. Can you buy it? Brook Farmer 76 wants to know, can you already buy it pre-mixed? And the answer is no. Jeff has already answered that for you. It does come in 3 parts. This fertilizer is meant for the big boys. These are the guys who, like, you know, have all these scales and measures and meters and things like that because they're growing on a grander scale. We as home growers have just kind of got our finger in there and it's like, you know, we want to play in there too. So we figured out how to bring it down to where we can use it in the home on a home scale. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's broken up to different parts, because this gives the larger folks the flexibility to play with the blend. If they're growing something that needs to be more iron rich and doesn't need as much calcium, they'll take that calcium out. If you're growing something that needs to bloom at some point, again, you're going to take the nitrogen down so your stuff will bloom and give you fruit. So it gives them a lot more flexibility. We as home gardeners will like blend it up. I don't care. Just give it to me the way it's supposed to be so I don't have to worry about it. And to be up to this point, that's kind of the stuff that I've been using in my Kratky system. I've been using Fox Farm, which is all right. I've also used Miracle-Gro, and that worked beautifully. I'm sorry, but it's already pre-mixed.
Right.
You don't have to measure anything. Can't mess it up. Well, you can, but it's hard to. You know. What else do we got on turf? I have a gram scale that I'm not using. It's new and will never use it. If you like it, I'll send it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Merry Christmas.
I'll send you that shipping right over.
She says she loves the cooking spoon. Of course, that takes care of everything.
Cook it up. I might need to watch part 1 first. Yeah, part 1, we kind of discussed it. Yeah,
I mean, actually, Brook Farmer, you've actually done your own part 1 where you put your seed in the ground. That's basically all we really talked about.
Yeah,
we talked about, you know, the heart of what a Kratky system is basically you're growing in water versus growing in soil. Okay, that's really what it boils down to, and the difference in how plants uptake nutrients out of water versus out of soil. And then we showed you our method for starting seeds for being able to pump them in the system. So now we're here ready to, you know, we've already mixed up our nutrients. We like to let it soak a little bit. It's all in there, all happy. The next thing I'm going to do, and Turf said he's going to do too. Hey, Nature 9, how you doing?
Yeah.
We are going to have these under grow lights. And even though this container is very opaque, it still will let some light in, and that is a recipe for algae. Food, water, air, algae. Light, algae. And algae will compete with your roots for nutrients, and more times than not, they will win. So what we're going to do is cover this top with some aluminum foil, and it's going to do 2 things. It's going to help bounce light back up to the leaves, which is going to help as well as block light from going down into the water. Okay, make sense?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get my wide Reynolds wrap.
And while he's off doing that, I'm going to show you. Yep, just some plain Reynolds wrap that I beat up. Okay, and while we wait for him to come back, we'll go ahead and see what we got. You don't want algae. Let me ask this question: are there any people who have fish aquariums in the house that kind of, you know, are heavy into growing fish? I know Nature 9 is. You don't have to answer. I know you there. But reason why I asked, just give me a hands up if that's something you do or have done. Not that you're necessarily doing it, but you have done. I asked that question because the more, as you start to get into this, you are going to find a lot of parallel to growing plants via Kratky or any other hydroponic way of growing, to husbandry for a aquarium. Both you have to be mindful of your pH. Both you have to do water changes at some point.
Yeah.
Both you don't want to overfeed or you kill what you're trying to grow.
My cousin did that to my fish.
See?
Killed all the fish trying to feed them.
Exactly. There are some methods that actually want you to add air. Matter of fact, I'm just like this over. I want you to add air so your plants can get the oxygen that they need. This particular method is designed beautifully where you don't have to have that, but it doesn't hurt to have that if you wanted to. Just like fish, they don't have to have air stones, but they wouldn't be mad at you if you did. So and you don't want to throw a bunch of chemicals at your fish to fix what's wrong. You know, if you have a sick fish, you know, you usually quarantine it off, give it the medicine it needs, and as little of it as you need to. And then once it's healthy again, you put it back into the tank with the rest of the folks. Same here. Got a sick plant, you cull it out and try to nurse it back if you can. If you can't, okay, but it doesn't destroy anything else that's around. Fish don't like algae because it takes their oxygen. So again, you know, if you've ever really gotten into the hobby of fish, a lot of this going in will sound very familiar on how to deal with your plants here.
Yeah,
So,
that just reminded me childhood memory. We have fish tanks, and I ain't never do nothing with the fish. I don't remember how the fish. I actually think so. When we were younger, my dad was the one who put the fish tank in there. He put the fish in there. When we got older though, and we moved, the only person who took care of the fish was Malik. Malik would keep that tank clean. If y'all don't know Malik is my little brother. But he would keep that fish tank spotless. So I know he's interested in the hydroponics. So I know when he starts to do it, this is going to be an easy peasy.
He's really going to see the similarities to it. Unfortunately, mine was not wide enough.
Yeah, see, that's why I went and got the bigger one.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
But it's okay. It's at the lip, which is actually really, really thick. So
yeah,
it's mostly down the center we want to worry about.
That's perfect.
And I'll set this part to the back.
There are many gardeners using Master Blend in their garden. It works perfectly. Yeah, it works. It seems like it's pretty user friendly as well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think that's how most of the stuff you get in the grocery store is grown. That's my personal opinion. After growing for 1 year or something similar, that stuff just be so perfect, you know. And then when you start figuring out and you start learning what's in season, especially when you're getting stuff way out of season, right? Like when it's way out of season, you got to think they got to have some big warehouses knocking this stuff off. I don't know. Maybe that's just me in my head, but yeah. I think a lot of the produce that you find in the grocery store, they use.
Ooh, that's saltwater tank.
Saltwater tank. That's a lot of work.
You know what? From what I hear, because I've always had fresh water too, but from what I hear, once it's established and it's like its own little ecosystem, it's hands off for the most part.
And you can make a lot of money from the plants from what I hear as well.
Yeah.
The plants that they need, Like a lot of people make a lot of money by taking cuttings of the plants, these different rare plants that they have in their setup.
Yep.
And they sell them. They sell them. They make a lot of money back that way.
Yep. Coral. They'll grow coral in salt water, and they'll do other things like brackish and other waters. They'll grow like real water plants and make a nice, pretty penny. So there's another avenue for some people, grow some plants in some water. But another reason why this works wonderfully as well, and I'm going to tie it back again to aquariums. If you had like a little goldfish like that, and you put it in one of those nice little round bowls, it'll do okay until it starts to get a little bit bigger. And it starts acting a little funny, especially if you're not changing your water. And that's because it's putting out more stuff. It's bigger. And the water to exit water, if you will, it's starting to get big. It's starting to come together. So the water's becoming more toxic for the fish, for the fish. So, and it kind of ties back to what we were saying to Mario a little bit earlier. The smaller your container, the more attention you need to pay to it. All right, because your plant's going to drink up the water, it's going to expel out more, and your water is going to become more corrupt, if you will, in a smaller container. Now, when you start getting into the containers this size, where we're talking 2 gallons and all, you can put 4 plants in here nicely, and it should take it to the end of its life, depending on what you're growing. On the tomatoes, because they do take up a lot of nutrients and a lot of water, I'm probably going to put just 2. But same kind of concept here. The bigger your container, the longer you can go without having to change your water or upping your nutrients. As long as your nutrients going in are fine and your container's big enough, got enough water, your plant should be able to go its entire life. The smaller your container, the more you're going to have to pay attention to it. Okay, make sense? Makes sense. Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Good deal. So this one, we really should not have to tend to too much, as long as our nutrients are balanced. We should be able to get a decent head of bok choy and whatever else we decide to pop in here at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'll be starting another batch tomorrow, along with some other seeds that I need to get going. Like Linda, she reminded me in her, I think it's second or third last video.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't start my daggone moringa seed yet.
And I haven't either.
Right. And I was like, man, I need to get on that. Like shoot, I need to get my moringa seed popping. That and something else. You know what else I'm gonna be growing though?
What's that?
Have you ever had maca root before? Like in your smoothie or something?
Mm-mm.
Listen, this stuff is like coffee, but there's.
You mean matcha?
Is it matcha root?
That's I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but I think we're talking the same thing.
Yeah, M-A-C.
He said it was like coffee. I was like, yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I was like, man, this stuff is bomb, but I didn't realize how easy it is to grow it. So
is it really?
And she has seeds. She got seeds. So I was.
We need the hookup. We need the hookup.
Right here, this stuff. Now we've been buying this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And putting it, yeah.
No. I'm sorry. I'm thinking matcha. No, I was saying it right. You said maca.
Yeah, that's the plant right there. Right there.
Yeah. Okay. No, I've never had that before, but I can get into it.
Yeah. That little package. How much is that package, babe? $15 for that little package. So
woo, that better last forever.
Yeah, it don't. It has 37 servings in it, so it lasts us. I mean, but if you making smoothies every day and whatnot, it don't. You'll go through that. You'll go through 2 people, 2 servings a day,
right?
In 2 weeks. So you're talking about $30 a month when I can just grow it.
Right. Exactly.
So.
All right. So, is everybody caught up with us as far as like questions or anything like that?
I got my list.
And now we're to, if you notice, we're doing a lot of talking because this is like, if you were just to yourself, it's quick, down, dirty, easy, fast, done. So we're trying to like extend this so we can hang out with y'all. But what you're gonna do, if you had a full grown type of plant that you wanted to pop in, like you started it out in some soil and you rinsed it off and all that, you can just pop it right into the pool noodle. But because we're starting with starts, and especially with me, I'm starting with a microgreen, we need to make this a little bit smaller so it fits down in here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take out a little chunk of the noodle. Okay, about half an inch, you know, and it should just kind of slide down in there just to make sure it fits. Okay, so my plant does not fall through. All I'm going to do is just shove that little piece into the center. How do you see that? So I mean, if I got to do it again, just kind of shove it down in there. Okay, and then you're going to take your plant. Now here's where you want to be kind of careful when you're taking it out of the perlite. You don't want to just yank it. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I hope you can see. Kind of just want to get like find your strongest one. I got that one right there. It's really pretty. And you want to kind of get down underneath so you don't disturb the root too much. And pull it right on out. Right there. Like voila, like so. Let's see if you can see it. So, like so. Okay, you're gonna kind of gently take off the soil there, like that.
Squeezing mine.
Yep. And then, according to Mike, what you want to do is kind of put your plant in such a way that your root is hanging down from the bottom. Hope you can see that. Okay, squeeze it in there. And then pop it in. Oops. Yep, that wasn't good. Let's try that again.
Oh, I got some roots over here.
You better.
Oh, goodness.
All right, and you just want the roots to hit that water because they're going to want to make their way down. Okay, and all it's doing is just holding the plant in place.
So what I'm going to do so I got all this hanging off of mine. I think I'm going to dunk it in some water.
Dunk it in some water, scrape it off a little bit with your finger.
Yeah, I think
that's probably actually the better way to do it.
Yeah, that's going to be the safest.
Dunk it in some water.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I'm gonna dunk it in some water.
Help me! I'll be right
back. Yeah. Babe, can you bring me some water, please? Like a cup? Yeah, that's fine. Just a cup. You say, yes, I agree. That's why they built the fish tanks into the wall. Yeah. Yeah. What else we got? Y'all laughing. Malik is a gardener. Yes, he is. Malik has been a gardener his whole life. He just didn't know it. He just didn't know it. And so,
right. So I'm going to grab 2 of the Bok Choy, the pink lady Bok Choy.
Oh, okay. Jeff, that's a good point. He said it's okay if you don't get it all off because we don't have to worry about any pumps. So
correct.
We're not having any pumps.
And it doesn't hurt anything. This is another reason why I say the perlite versus the soil, because it's not anaerobic. It's not going to go bad on you in the water either. As a matter of
boom.
fact,
y'all see that root?
Beautiful.
So.
I think I got 3 tangled up in here. We'll play with those and see. In fact, I think I'm going to snip that one because that doesn't seem too strong anyway. So we're going to snip that one right there.
Now, how low are we supposed to put the plant in?
Yeah, you want the roots to be in the water. You want them submerged.
Right. Well, but with my roots being so long already.
Yep, you're still good,
Okay.
because what's going to happen as it starts to drink up the water,
Mm-hmm.
and the water starts to drop down, that's when it's going to build its air roots.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
you're good right now.
Okay.
So I got that.
And which
Make
one
me
is
another
this?
noodle.
This is this is the unknown one. Okay, I'll just write unknown. And I'm labeling mine by just literally, I could just write right here. Yeah.
You're doing your tomatoes?
Yeah, I'm doing my tomatoes. I'm writing right on the foil. Right on the foil. And that worked out really well.
Yep.
Yep. And they're hitting the water.
Yep.
It's clean. I know they happy because they was looking a little thirsty. Yeah, but
that
that water dunking, guys, worked out perfect. Not using the Kratky method. Yeah. Don't you use a pump to keep the water circulating? Yep. And there you go. Jeff already answered. See, Jeff, the co-host of the year.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, no pump in this situation. That's what makes it. When if you want to go and get a container and fashion it however you want to do it, and you're comfortable with whatever that container is made out of, that's what makes this so cheap.
Yes.
So budget friendly, because you don't have to buy all these extra things to keep it going.
Snip this a little bit
more. Matter of fact, if you speaking of Mike Van Doozy, gosh, this root system is crazy. Mike, he actually also he did this with Bok Choy, and
that's his favorite thing to grow.
Right, he set it outside. I remember that video from this summer. He showed it to us late in the summer, but he had it going all summer. And it was like this set it and forget it. What was it? Was it the 2.5 gallon bucket that he used?
Yeah, like a half bucket. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was pretty solid.
Oh yeah, like some of the things he likes to grow, especially outside, Bok Choy, amaranth, sweet potato greens. He'll do those. He definitely likes the leafy green kind of things that he can put in smoothies and on salads and stir fry and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I'm actually.
That doesn't limit you. Please don't think this is something that'll limit you. Do your research. You pretty much can crack just about dogging on anything. There's a guy on here, Jeb. I can't think of his whole name right now, but he's definitely an experiment kind of guy. And he's cracking onions, and he's cracking radishes and carrots and all of that. So don't limit yourself. Just research what you want to grow and what you need before you jump into it. There's another guy that I just got into. He grew a full head of cabbage. Italy, that huge, in a 5 gallon bucket using Kratky. No pumps, nothing like that.
Yeah, lettuce.
Shoot, I just almost remembered his name. Dang it. I hate when I do that. I'm sorry.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, Hydrohaven. Yep. So basically, and Jeff just rang it, you can grow lettuce in a milk jug. All you need is something to hold your water, something small enough to hold your plant, and let it go.
Let it go.
I mean, only because the plant has to go to a certain size. If you got nutrient-rich water, you can do it with just water.
There you go. So I'm thinking of something while I'm doing this, and I'm sure someone probably has a question. If not, I'm gonna ask it for you. But so we've cut these noodles, right?
Yes.
And we're putting these plants in while they're very young. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what happens when the plant gets larger? Are we supposed to come in here and give it some relief with this noodle, or are they going to be okay?
They'll be okay.
They won't choke. They won't get choked out.
Nah, let's say based on what I've seen and how he's done it, I I've not yet seen him open these up.
Okay. All right. Cool. Just
Like I said, they really are just the holding space for the plants. They actually do sell what's called cloning.
you start yours in
colors.
pineapple water? You start you start your pineapples in water. I was gonna say you growing in pineapple water?
I'm like, who's wasting my pineapple water?
I learned something new every day. I was open to it. I'm like, okay, let me go check that out. Pineapple water.
Well, hey, we got banana leaf water, so why not?
Right. Yeah. I was like, I'm running it through the head. I didn't know that it was loaded with, a whole bunch of extra nutrients. But okay, let me go check it out. I think this is the most impressive root system out of all of them so far.
Yeah, if you notice, I have like 2 in here. I got 1 here and I got 1 here. It's because my roots got tangled and I don't want to hurt anything. So once this gets a little bit stronger or this one gets a little stronger, I will thin it out. But for now, like I said, mine is just still so young. I don't want to mess with the roots too much.
That's understandable.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm just doing the Bok Choy here.
Okay, so Jeff said, I got free 2-gallon buckets from a bakery. Free is the right price. I agree. Yes, sir.
Free is the right price.
Then Suzette, that's a good question. Suzette, does the water level have to stay at a certain place in your container?
Yes. Once you actually get to a point where where the plant has pretty much drank up a lot of the water, I would say like maybe about 1 inch or so, you don't really want it to go, especially if what's the best way to put this? It depends on the size of your container.
Okay, let's start with
the bigger your container, the longer it takes for the plant to drink it up. And that's time that gives the plant to mature. So it can be a set it and forget it type of situation. If you're dealing with a container that's small, that the plant is going to drink it up, I personally would not let the water go below about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch to the bottom. I don't want my plants to dry out. And then in this particular system, by the time the water gets down that low, your plant is going to have air roots. And you don't want to fill it back up to the top because that's going to drown your plant. Your plant needs to breathe. So I would keep my water level, once it's actually made its way down on its own, I would keep my water level about maybe a 1/4 to 1/2 inch to the bottom. Enough to keep the plant happy and drinking and all that, but not enough to drown your plant.
Now, if you're running out of water, do you just add more water or more water and nutrients? And if you're doing it in a method like we are and you got to add more water and nutrients, how do you actually go about doing that?
I dump mine. I start from scratch.
Oh, okay. So you'll make a whole new batch.
But I do not fill it all the way up like I'm doing now.
Right.
I just fill it up to, just to a point where the plant is still getting some water.
Okay.
Now, again, when it comes to water versus nutrients and all of that, I let my plant tell me.
Okay.
For example, with our tomatoes, this is going to be a great example. At some point, we are going to have to change our water.
With the tomato.
And the reason why is because our plants are going to go into flower.
Right.
And they need a different set of nutrients to flower and fruit. Right now, this particular blend is not hydrogen, Lord have mercy, forgive me, nitrogen rich. So we're going to get roots and leaves and growth. But just like if you are outside and you got to change your fertilizer to a blooming type of fertilizer, where it's heavier in the phosphorus and potassium and a little lighter on the nitrogen, you're going to have to do the exact same thing in here.
That makes sense.
Okay. But at that point, again, our tomatoes should have some air roots by then. And we're just going to fill it up to the point of the air roots. And let it fly that way. So we continue to get some fruit. I hope that answers your question, Suzette. Did that help? Did that help you, Robert?
Did that help, Sue? Yeah, it helped me. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I was over here doing the math in my head for breaking it down to 4 parts and getting just 1 cup of, I done over-engineered the heck out of that. And then you like dump it out and restart. I'm like, yeah, that makes way more sense. That's way easier.
Yeah. Just again, just think about for where the plant is, think about its needs.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like leafy greens, like what we're dealing with now, we don't have to mess with it at all.
They go.
By the time the water is done in this size container, they should be ready to harvest.
Okay.
Yeah,
I harvested my yellow heart choy. I went ahead and pulled them up when I finally finished editing this video, showing y'all the little winter storm I dealt with. They froze. They literally froze. Okay. They froze. They're fine. They were fine, but they froze. And rather than me risk waiting for them to bounce back, and it looked like they were about to go to seed. And I learned something. Just because a plant is
it's not whatnot.
Just because the plant is so those yellow heart choys, one of the reasons why I grew them is because they're good all the way down to like 20 degrees Fahrenheit. They can deal with that.
Right.
What they don't put on these seed packets is they're good with 20 degrees Fahrenheit minus the elements. So,
right.
So it dawned on me when it happened because they weren't covered. They got ice, sleet, snow on them. The plant didn't die, but it affected all the foliage of the plant.
Right.
Because I didn't keep it protected from the snow, the rain, and the sleet. So I was like, that makes sense. Next time they're good down to that temperature, but I probably want to try to cover them up with something.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I didn't do that for a lot of the things in the garden. Some of the stuff didn't mind at all, like the collards. Yeah, they looked real sad at first, but them jokers have bounced all the way back.
Same with mine.
They got a whole new life right now. I was like,
my kale did the same thing. My dinosaur kale.
Yeah.
Came right on back. It's like, I ain't no punk. Yeah. Bring it on.
Right. That yellow heart choy, because it's so dense in the way it kind of forms like this flowerette type of head. And I could feel it, like the plant was frozen. It was frozen.
Yeah.
It was ice. I was like, I don't want to let it thaw out and then it turns into mush. So I went ahead and pulled it. I wish I would have left one, but I pulled them and I cleaned them. They're in the fridge right now. I'm gonna make a soup out of them.
That'd be good.
I'm gonna put them in this vegetable soup because I pulled all my radishes up too. So I cleaned up all my radishes, my radishes. I pulled up my radishes, my rutabagas, and then the yellow heart choy. So
unfortunately, my rutabagas didn't do so well.
Yeah, mine weren't that impressive.
But I just started mine too late. That's all.
I don't think I started mine too late. I think I didn't put enough soil in the container I put them in. And it was just too, I think that was the problem. I know I started them at the right time, but I never had a rutabaga before in my entire life. So that's why I grew it. Yeah, I didn't know if I didn't like them or not. And I grew them and then I tasted it and I was like, oh, this is bomb. So yeah, that's on my list. But I never had
talk to your parents. You not have a rutabaga.
I never knowingly had a rutabaga. Let's say that, right? So I didn't know what they were. So if I probably did have it, but did I know I had it like possum? I know I had possum at some point in my life. I know I had possum. I know I did. Do I know when I had it? No. When I became an adult and it was offered to me, I said, possum? I'm not eating that daggone possum. And then the adult will say, well, you ate it when you was a kid. And I'm like, what I mean? like that's because you fed it to me unknowing. And, it wasn't like I had another option. If I didn't eat it, I was going to go to sleep hungry that night. So I ate what you put in front of me. type
We're
thing.
laughing at Jeff. He's like, look at you labeling your plants. I need to do that better. I forget half the plants.
I didn't label any of the Bok Choys because they're all the same. The only ones I labeled was the tomatoes. The three that I labeled. The other one must be other. It's got to be the yellow top, because I think I only did one of the orange hat tomatoes because I already knew what they tasted like, and I had some down there. I think there's a ripe tomato in there right now. I'm about to snatch that joker.
I'm stirring up another batch so I can plant my tomatoes. I'm only going to put 2 in here, even though they are micro. They are still tomatoes. They like to eat. So unlike the greens where I can easily put 4 in there, I'm going to put just 2.
She tells me that after I already put 4 in mine now. See, it's Crafty keeping the cheat codes, man.
Sorry. You just gonna have to put more water in. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It'll be all right. I ain't worried.
All right.
Matter of fact, if you would have told me that, I still would have did it. So
What do you say, Miss Linda? She said, I ate possum. If it moved, it was dinner.
Yep. See? Yeah, I ate that possum. Don't get me wrong. I'll eat it again if I have to.
Yeah.
But only if I have to. That's it. I'm not about to knowingly, willingly be like, yeah, let me get some possum. Nah.
Yeah, that's one of those they're gonna have sneak on me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like frog legs. Never in my life have I had frog legs.
Oh, now that's good eating. I'm sorry. That's good eating right there.
You tell me it tastes like chicken all day. I don't care. It's frog legs. I'm good.
See, now here's the funny thing about it. If someone laid them out, if they cooked them right and laid them out, you would think they were chicken legs.
Yep. That's like so I'll tell you a funny story. I was on a cruise with my friend.
Yes, Jeff. Yeah. We're both doing a orange top micro and a little birdie micro. Just asking because he's already started some. He has an experiment going on his channel where he's growing one in soil and growing one in hydroponics. And I will tell you what, hydroponics is winning the lead. It can fight.
Yeah. Orange hat. This orange hat right here.
Yeah, I love frog legs too, Miss Linda. Love them. And gator. Give me a gator sandwich and I'm happy.
Well, gator is bomb. I love gator. Gator barbecue gator. Gator tail. That's my jam. I'll eat that knowingly, no problem. But frog legs, I just can't I'll eat it. Like if you catch me slipping like they did with the escargot on this cruise I was on one time. I ordered some giant sea scallops. It came out. I was like, man, these scallops are huge. And then I bit them, and I was with my homeboy. I was like, this is delicious. This is awesome. We crushed the whole platter. I was like, those didn't really taste like scallops, but they were so good. They had this garlic buttery crust on top of it. It was delicious. So the dude came back by, and we were like, yeah, let's get another order of scallops. And then he left, and then he came back in like 2 minutes, and he was like, that wasn't scallops. I was like, what? He was like, that was escargot. And I was like, oh. He said, do y'all want some more? We both looked at each other and we was like, nah. He was like, but it was good. I was like, yeah, it was real good. Awesome. I don't ever, and that's the last time I had it. I'm good. I don't need no more. He was like,
once you get past the mental on some things, and just appreciate what it is, just name it something different. Let me know, call it something else.
Right.
What did Love No said? She said frog legs, coon, and gator tail, octopus, squid. I've never had possum. Never ate possum.
Pretty sure I had coon too. Well, I know
I have never had coon. I've never had possum.
Mm-hmm.
Octopus and squid I have had.
I've had squirrel before, unknowingly, I'm sure. Yeah.
Jeff just clarified something. He says, I'm doing my experiment in the tiny arrow garden. I will need to add lots of water. Doesn't even hold a gallon. Yeah, that thing is kind of teeny. He said, but it makes it a deep water and not a cracky. There's water circulating in the arrow garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those arrow gardens. Sapper got one of those arrow gardens too.
And what Miss Linda said, she said, yeah, but you will not. Oops, I lost something somewhere. Oh, This is where I lost. Hold on. She said, yes, but you will not have a bigger harvest than growing in soil, not with that container.
It means on the long end, I think.
Yeah.
Like you leave it in
Yeah.
the soil, you know, that plant might grow faster in that container, but you leave it in the soil, you have more than one harvest and it'll last longer. You ain't got to feed it as much. I agree on the long term. So mine are done. Let me show y'all mine. Let me pick up this camera.
Yeah, I think the reason why this method of hydroponics, well, any method of hydroponics is so big is because the turnover is so quick, which is why, you know, mass growers are moving that direction. Now there's a, you know, school of thought that doesn't taste as good because you don't have that soil and to add those extra nutrients and stuff like that. The nutrients are there.
Yeah.
That's right. Sapper did say
he said Sapper said he made him do it. Yeah.
His is growing beautifully. I mean, the last video I saw, he has some great basil. Basil is an awesome plant to grow hydroponically.
Okay.
Awesome plant.
I got enough basil. I grew enough basil last year that last me through the winter. I'm good. I don't need to start basil. I'll just start basil into the summer. And yeah, I actually like it being outside, but that's good to know. The thing I need to get going more often inside during the summer, like I don't think I'm going to even try to, I'm not going to waste any space on growing lettuce in the heat next year.
Oh no.
Not going to.
Once you get this down and you make room for it, grow your lettuce inside.
It's so, like, it goes so bitter so quick once it gets hit by that heat. So lettuce will start being grown inside after like May, June, like probably around May. I'll start another succession indoors and I'll harvest what I got outside, and that'll be it. I won't fool with it anymore outside. You know, leafy greens. That's what I'm going to take advantage of with this Kratky system is leafy greens that don't like the heat. I'm not even going to struggle with trying to do them outside, trying to fight them daggone aphids and everything else in the heat. I'm not dealing with it. I'm just bringing it in.
And it's so much easier to succession plant these too.
Yeah,
you know, you can start your microgreens. By the time the lettuce is done, you can have it in 3 tiers. You got finished, almost done, and getting ready to get started.
What's up, Dan? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Dan.
That's my dude right there. Dan makes me mad though, because he is.
He makes me mad too.
He makes me so mad, man. Looking at what Dan getting away with over there. I mean, it's jamming.
He's in the weather for it. We would have to move. That's the only way we can catch up with him.
Right. Yeah, and them daggone dicot radishes. I don't even have any of them, but I was like, man, I might want to pick up some dicot radishes.
Yeah, for real. I mean, if I actually had to do it over again, you know, I mean, you start with what you know, and we all know soil. I mean, gardeners, let's put it, you know, soil.
Yeah.
You know, but there's so many ways to actually take this process outside, so your plants can still get the sun that they like and need and all that.
Yeah.
But it's so much cheaper, so much easier. You don't have to fool with the soil, you know, and spend money of replenishing that every year, unless you got your own compost, but then you don't have to worry about composting. So, you know, as far as the economics of it's concerned, yeah, I think people who do this outside are getting the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Like if my property was laid out like Mike says, where he had, you know, that little shaded under the tree where he was able to slip his choy underneath.
Yeah.
I'd be all over it for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just taking.
I wish this was a little bit longer. Here's the beauty of this also. You don't really have to worry about your plants being leggy, because that space is being taken up by the pool noodle. This is one of the smaller mini micro tomatoes. Thank you.
Got it.
Full disclosure, that's not my first glass of wine. But yeah, so it's a little bit short for this pool noodle, but its sister over here is a little bit longer, so we're gonna squeeze that one in and make that one work instead.
Nice and tidy and pretty.
Yeah, and we're gonna see if we can try to put the other one back in the soil of the vermiculite. And there we go. That's I'm gonna poke in there and see. That doesn't look like it's hitting.
Pretty. You look pretty.
It looks like it's barely hitting it.
Right here.
Let's see if I can bring it down just a smidgen more.
So do you ever take, like, let's say you get your tomato, like these dwarfs. So what I did with my dwarfs, once they got to a certain size, my orange.
I need to add more water to this because they're too shallow. I'm sorry, what?
My orange hat tomatoes, what I did was I took, when it comes to pruning these tomatoes, right? When you get those suckers that come on,
yes,
because they're micro, do you still take them off, or do you tend to leave them doing what they do?
Because these ones are not indeterminate. They're determinate. So they're only going to give you out. Let's put it this way: the ones that I sent you, the birdies, those are determinate. Okay. They are only going to get so high, give you so much fruit, and then it's done.
Right.
Why shoot yourself in the foot? That's the way I'm looking at it.
Well,
I think the orange hat is also determinate.
It is. I think it is too. But let me show you what I did. Just humor me for a moment. Mm-hmm. I took one of the suckers because the plant was just getting unmanageable, and I took it and I got rid of the rest of the plant because it spent all the tomatoes, and I took the sucker and I stuck it in some dirt, and now I got more blooms coming in. So it like made its own little plant, and it's kicking off more suckers. So I don't know if it's indeterminate. I don't know what it is, but I know I'm about to get more fruit, so that works out. It look pretty healthy.
Yeah. Only time I think about pruning is if indeterminate. Okay. Or if I did not switch my nutrients quick enough, so it's so much foliage and no blooming happening, that makes sense. Then I'll prune some of that back. Again, that's my own preference.
32.
Like I said, these are kind of short, not really hitting, so I am going to have to top this off, and all I'm going to do is top it off with a little bit of water. Okay. And let the plant tell me what it wants to do. Remember what I said, lack than have too much. I don't want to burn my plant.
Right. That makes sense. That's easy. Well, and now we just wait.
So like I said, we spent a lot of time just chit-chatting on something that was super duper crazy easy. Yeah, what I would do with these, like I said, here's the beauty of this also. If for whatever reason these fail, got backup. But that's probably going to go in a salad right there. I'm going to go ahead and do up a huge, matter of fact, let me show you what I'm going to do with the peas. Bear with me 1 second so I can reach it.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, that's what I did.
This is a gallon container here. I'm going to wrap this in foil, and I'm going to put water in here, and this is what I'm going to grow my peas in.
Got it.
So these guys right here.
Yeah.
Yep. I do have a net cup because I couldn't find collars big enough. So this is going to take a net cup, and I'm going to pretty much just take the same perlite and vermiculite in that net cup and transplant that in there and let it come on down.
Nice. Yep. Yeah, I think I like that I did. That's a wine container, ain't it?
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just a big old mason jar. Yeah, gallon mason jar.
Right. Boom. Look at that. Well, we're good. Said tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going down into the 20s tonight too. We're heading down that way. What? Dan's getting 30-degree weather?
I know, right? That's what I said. Damn, that's cold. Where you
That's
at,
cold
man?
for you.
I mean, let me look at mine. I be getting so lucky in this weird zone. You know what my low is tonight? 39. You know what my high is going to be tomorrow?
Okay, something's got to be wrong because according to Alexa over here, it still says it's 60 degrees outside. And I know that can't be right.
But it's going to be,
Let's get a warm spell.
It's going to be 60 degrees tomorrow. Tomorrow, my high is 60 degrees and it's raining all day.
Yeah, you're getting what we're getting here. We got a warm snap coming through here.
Oh, okay.
Right now, then it's supposed to drop right back down.
Yeah, it's getting real on Friday and Saturday. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, same here. Same here. We are gonna know it's Christmas.
20 degrees. I haven't seen that. 21 and 23 degrees. Well.
Oh, this is your first time seeing that?
Oh no, we just had that winter storm. That winter storm took us to like 25, but we have not been to 21, 23. Yeah, that's my first time.
Yeah, we haven't been there either. So I definitely need to make provisions to cover up my greens, but like I said, just kind of frost cover, like I said, they can take the cold, they just can't take that freeze.
Yeah, those
on the leaves.
Right, be like, yeah. So I'm I guess I'm got to get out there and do a little prep work since I learned my lesson from last time. Yeah. They're coming back, and then it works out because they're gonna get all that rain tomorrow. It's gonna be nice and warm, so they're really gonna pout out, really stiffen up and come into their full. And then I got and then that night and then the next day I'll go ahead and get them nice. Yeah, we'll be good.
Yeah, it's kind of warm there where you are too, Jeff. He's in New York. He said it's 50.
Yeah. 60 degrees here now. Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a warm front that's pushing through everything, but everybody's gonna feel it in a couple of days.
Yeah, I got 50 degrees. No, 40 degrees. I got 40 right now. Yeah, it feels like 36 because that wind is out there kicking.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I need to check my greenhouse so I can turn my heaters back on if I need to. Out there, I need to check that later. But guys, this is pretty much it. As far as what to do. Now, there's some things I wanted to touch really, really quick. So you get a clear understanding of why this works, why some people feel that you have to babysit like this. And it requires me showing you some supportive documentation. So I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me a minute. And we're going to talk to this. Let's see if I can find it real quick first. I hope I didn't not. Oh, I did. Hold on a minute. I'm going to have to work something out. Bear with me.
Yeah, y'all see, I'm getting mine on my trays into their forever home.
Yeah, as far as lighting is concerned, you handle this the same way you would do your lighting for anything else you would grow inside. 12 to 16 hours on an initial, and then you work it down to 12. When it's actually ready to get to the end, you probably bring your light back a little bit less. Get your height. You want to keep, while they're in this stage that I'm in, you want your height, your light's a little low, and then you just kind of bring them up as they grow.
We should be good. These lights, my lights, I had to play with them to figure them out. They're these high intensity LED lights, and I actually had issues with them burning my plants in the beginning.
I've done that.
The light was so intense, and so I had to adjust the height, and not only adjust the height, but then adjust the time, which is cool because I got a timer. It's connected to a timer, and then I can adjust the time per rack and then have it go however I want it to go. So through error, I have figured it out. Ooh, look at this.
Can you see this, everybody? Just give me a high sign. Can you see that, Robert?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This chart here, and I got it courtesy of Spliff Seeds, got to give them their credit.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit better. Gives you the pH range where plants uptake certain nutrients. Okay. As you can see here on this side, on the left side, on my left, that chart has to do with the pH of soil. When you're actually putting in, and you're putting in your fertilizers and all of that in your soil, and you're measuring the pH, that's why within your soil, you want to know how well your plants can uptake those nutrients that you're adding to your soil. One plant that really sticks out in my head being outside that needs to be in acidic soil are blueberries.
Yep.
The reason why they need to be in acidic soil is because they are heavy iron feeders. They like iron. And iron it can be uptook. You know what I'm trying to say. To the plant when it's somewhere between five-ish, 6.5, 5.5, 6.5, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But you still want that sweet spot because it still needs everything else. It still needs its nitrogen. It still needs the phosphorus and all that. So you really want anything that needs to be brought up in acidic soil somewhere between a 5.5 and a 6.5, somewhere in here. So that's going to be driven by your fertilizer. Because remember what I said in the beginning, water tends to sit at 7, somewhere between 7, 6, 9, 6, 9, 7, 7, 1, 7, 2, somewhere up in there is where your water is going to be. Your fertilizer is what draws it down. Okay. So that's what you have to pay attention to when you're dealing with soil. Now, soil will hold on to those fertilizers much longer than water would, because water evaporates and so on and so forth, where soil does not. Okay.
All right.
Now, the pH for water is very different because it's a different medium. So you have to pay attention to this. You can't go by the chart on the right, on the left. You have to go by the chart on the right. So as you can see, matter of fact, here's a really good example here. If you look at the manganese here and compare it with the water and compare it to the manganese with the soil, water does not hold on to manganese and it's more alkaline. It drops completely off. Okay, because it's right about 5.5 right here is your pH here, and manganese does not get taken up with water. It has to be really acidic. You know, fortunately, manganese is not really. I won't say it's not important because you know every element's important, but it's not as important for growth and delivery of fruit when you're trying to grow your plants. Again, if you notice the scale towards the bottom where it's sitting here in the green, the 5.5 all the way up to 8.5, your sweet spot for everything you really need as far as leafy greens and all of that are going to be in that 6.5 to 7.5 range. When it comes to phosphorus, however, as you can see, the more acidic, the more phosphorus you'll get.
Mm-hmm.
So right in there, 5.5 and 6 is still a sweet spot for everything else and phosphorus, which is why a lot of people want to measure when they measure out the pH after adding their nutrients. That's about where they want to be.
You want to be,
especially if they're dealing with something fruiting, which is like your tomatoes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Lettuce, like I said, lettuce and things like that, there are more nitrogen and potassium and calcium and all of that. You can go all the way up to 8.5 and it would be happy. It's going to uptake. Okay. So this is where it gets important when you're deciding what to grow, which is why I suggest anybody that's starting out, start off with something leafy, get your couple of wins, do your research,
right,
and figure out what your plants like and go by your water culture not your soil, because they're two different animals. Okay, make sense?
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for a little quick 101.
You know, I gotta get my little geeky in there.
Plant movement. Jeff said, I think I have a pH issue with my tomato and cucumbers. I'm hoping for new meters for Christmas, hoping I can get them back on track. Yeah.
Were you a good boy this year? You know, Santa's always watching.
5.6 works for me. Mostly everything. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah,
so I have one more thing I want to share with you guys. If I can get it. Hold on. Let me see if I remember where I put it. That was there. Bear with me, guys. I guess like I said, this is not my first glass of wine, so I have to remember where I put everything. Oh, here we go. Let's open that and reduce that, and now I can share that screen with you.
That were growing in water, shaking my head. Oh, you killed them? You killed them just now? Did you kill them just now, Love Nose? What happened?
What happened? Who? Shoot, I killed my Thai peppers.
Yes, I killed my Thai peppers that were growing in water, shaking my head. Did you kill them because your pH was up, or did you just realize you killed them? That sucks.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one more thing I want to share with you guys before we wrap everything up. This is the nutrient efficiency chart. Full disclosure, there was another word here that I blocked out because there's a certain group of folks who like to grow a certain type of plant. There's like 5 leaves on it. And this is a big deal for them because they tend to grow all of their stuff hydroponically. So remember when I said I'd rather underfeed than overfeed, and I let my plant tell me what it needs? This is an awesome chart. You can actually go ahead and Google it and find pictures and things like that you can play detective with your plants if something's going wrong with your water. But you want to catch them early. Don't just like let it go when you see it. So things like if your plant is yellowing, where it's yellowing, you know, does it need more iron? Does it need more sulfur type of things? Down here, which is now this one right here where it says yellow tips, this one is huge for hydroponics because that really is a sign of overfeeding. And more times than not, you got nutrient lockout. Your tips are burning off. And it's usually because it's a lack of calcium. Calcium is the thing that actually helps move all of those other nutrients up and down your plant. So more times than not, if you fix your calcium level, I'm surprised they have that as a no there, but if you dump your water, number one, get your nutrients right, number two, make sure if you're going to err on the side of heavy on anything, make sure it's going to be more on the calcium side because the calcium is what's helping uptake. And then that should eliminate your burnt tips.
Eco Neighbor said #screenshot.
I can leave it up, please. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, let your plants tell you what's going on. I mean, don't get me wrong. Please don't get me wrong. You want to start off with a good base.
Yes.
Always start off with a good base. But things can happen, even outside. This is even good for outside. Like now, we're getting downpours of rain. So there's so much nutrients that are being washed out of the soil, that we're eventually going to have to replenish, and your leaves on your plants can tell you what nutrient you need to add in, probably something else, to balance it out. So yeah, stunted growth. This is another one, stunted growth. You need more potassium and more calcium. Everybody that grows tomatoes, when they get blossom end rot, they know they need more calcium. There's the lack of calcium. So yeah, don't overfeed to the point where you're going to burn your plants out. It's better to underfeed a little bit and balance right a little bit at a so you don't hurt your plants. Let your plants start to wilt a little bit and say, yeah, I need some water that has some, I need some of this.
Give me a hit, dog.
Give me a hit, but these symptoms right here are, other than the yellowing tips and the burnt tips, those are more extremes. This is like you let it go so long, it has no choice but to behave this way. But if you catch it, like I said before, where your plants kind of wilt a little bit, turn a little sideways, they will tell the first thing I do, the same thing I do with my looking like they're like listless or something like that. First thing I do is change my water. I don't even measure anything out. I just know something's wrong. It's not happy. Let's fix the water. Now, if I fix my water and plant still doesn't behave, there's something wrong with fertilizer. You may need to check it out. Maybe you got a bad batch fertilizer. Happens. But same without, outside. You want to baby your plants, smother your plants. Same goes, which is really on both. Okay. So I hope that was educational. I got to throw a little education in every time.
Little education. Yeah, I see everybody talking about meters now. And Jeff said, this is when the meter comes in handy.
Exactly.
When you start diagnosing, doing anything other than leafies, for the most part. And I'd argue probably tomatoes as well. You could probably get away with tomatoes. They're probably pretty forgiving. I don't know. I'm just getting started. Don't.
Yeah, no, believe it or not, tomatoes really are. I mean, I've restarted 3-4 times and they still gave me tomatoes. Now, do you want to put your plants under stress on purpose? No. Right. Don't do that. That's just me. Get something. Like, I think I have a video where I forgot I already dosed something and burnt the hell out of my plant. So things happen. So just be aware that it's not the magic bullet. It's not. It's a great thing.
He said, tell that to my tomato. I guess it ain't forgiving you over there. Yeah, I think he's going to release a video tomorrow because you said earlier, checking with him because he does a lot of good stuff over there. And he said, yeah, don't look at this video tomorrow. I think he about to show us some behind the scenes failures tomorrow or something. And
we have them, to pretend that we do, this is very much a learning for all of us. So, I came into Kratky last year, and as well as I've done, I'm not going to show you my bad stuff. Well, no, that's not true. I'll show you my bad stuff too. I just don't show you bad stuff.
We're going down.
Outside, we all have failures outside. If it's the bugs, if it's the heat, it's the water. Every year, and that's why I like growing things anyway. Every plant that you try, it's something new. It's something different. It's not going to behave the exact same way. They're like your children. They all have their own little personality. Some of them are going to be like, drama queens and need attention all the time. Other ones are like, can you please just leave me alone? Hey, kind of a plant, that's the beauty of it. Doing this thing, whether you do time, for your livelihood or for a hobby, I think it's a great skill regardless. So not only weather outside is frightful. See how many of y'all caught that. you can still go inside.
I caught it.
It doesn't messy, you don't have dirt, and it's easy. It's easy. So the next check-in will be to see if he survived. If they're giving us any fruit, if we will, when it's time for harvest these things out. And so that check-in is going to be a while. It's going to take a little while. I think these are 60-day tomatoes. I think 60, 65, something like that. Yeah. And the Bok Choy, I think, is like, 45, 50 days, something like that. it's going to be a little while before we are able to check in on these. I may do like little shorts throughout the process and just check in and let you show what they look
Good
like.
idea. I need to
Yeah.
shorts anyway. That seems like the new movie.
Keep honest.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And next final video of the series would be, finishing these up and talking about any issues we may have and little watch out and gotchas that we experience. It's really going to be an interview of Turf. This is his first time doing it. I'm going to ask him, how's the gotchas? How do you feel about it? Again, that kind of a thing. So that's where we're going to end the third series. So I hope you guys do come back for that.
Yeah.
He says his micro is supposed to, but which micro are you growing, Jeff? Which tomato? I couldn't remember.
55 days. Yeah, so this should be done. We're talking about February now.
February-ish.
Yeah,
we should have some fruit.
Because when these are getting done, I'll be starting my second set of seeds by then. Because I'm gonna start. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna start my onions at the end of January. Pretty sure that's what I did them last year around the end of January, and they did really well from seed. I got full bulb onions. It was.
I am not even going to try to pronounce that. Can you pronounce that? Joacholo.
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 Something
like that. If I spelled it right, okay.
Jochalos.
So, thing I do want to give it a try, which I have not tried yet, are peppers. I want to try if I can find a micro type pepper to grow or a dwarf type pepper. I want to give that a shot.
Yeah, big ups to Miss Craft.
Hey, Eco Nick, thank you.
Miss Craft done taught me so much this season, y'all. I done learned how to brew up some wine. Now I'm doing hydroponics.
I love yellow sweet tomatoes. I'm gonna have to give that. I'm waiting for yours first, though, Jeff. Looks like.
Yeah.
Learn just as much Turf. So between the worms, I think I see your worm back there, right?
No, my worm's not in here. They in the closet in the garage. This is Plant City. This is Plant City. Stuff is overflowing. I got cane all over the place. Like Miss Linda, she sent me some more cane. I got house plants that's turned into jungle plants.
You should see my kitchen table. You can't see behind this computer, but I got so much on this table. I got figs over there that I just started that's starting to leaf out. In fact, one had the nerve to actually put on a fig. I'm like, do you know you're still a cutting?
Fast, yeah. So my lemons. I need to prune off all these flowers. I got new blooms coming in on this lemon, on this Meyer. But I can tell that it's acclimating because when I brought it inside, it dropped a whole bunch of leaves, and the leaves started to yellow a bit. And I didn't, instead of like panicking and throwing everything at it, I just left it alone for like about a month, and then it's just fixing itself by itself. So I see new leaves are coming in now, and all the leaves are like a nice green, flush green. It's an even color throughout it all, and then it keeps trying to put on more blooms. So I think next year I might end up with one or two lemons. We'll see.
You just might. Like I have a gold nugget out in the greenhouse, but the temperature still. I think it's just I should have had it more towards the center versus the outside, because it's not liking it, dropping its leaves and all of that. Yeah. But the stem is still green. I know it's still healthy. So it's just going to have to recuperate, because I don't want to bring it in right now, because that's just going to give more shock to it.
Right.
I'm just going to leave it where it is. And as long as the roots are alive and the main stem is green, you can drop all the leaves at once.
Right. Exactly. He said shock and then growth. Yep. That's exactly what I'm experiencing with mine. Eco, and went through some shock, and now she seems like she's comfortable and she's starting to fill back out and put more fruit on. So, you know, that
Right.
just lets me know that I did the right thing by not panicking, not throwing the whole. I didn't do what I did to my peach tree, which is that's how I killed my peach tree. I just
Yeah.
every
You
time
overloved it.
yeah, I overloved it. Every time I saw something change, I thought I had to do something. I just did this. Oh, let me do that, and let me do this, and then like it just, you know,
Overloved.
that poor
Just
tree,
overloved.
that poor
Yeah.
tree, yeah. It's so bad because if there was one thing I jacked the heck up this season was the peach tree, and I just
Yeah.
named it. I named it after my grandmother, and Led was right. He was like, once you lose that tree, so I didn't even do it live. I was going to show y'all me taking her down, but I couldn't even do it because I had to do it. So
Yeah.
it took the
We,
horticulturist to tell me to let her go because I was like, oh, I'm gonna just hold on to it. Maybe she was like, no, she's done. She's done.
Yeah. And it's weird, like when you do name something, you know, name something after somebody that means that much to you, you tend to over love it.
And
You
that's
know,
I did, yeah.
because a friend of mine, when my mom passed, a friend of mine sent me a oak tree, and I at the beginning I started to overlove it. I was like, this is an oak tree. I shouldn't have to do a damn thing to it. Oaks grow everywhere, you know. So I left it alone. And what started off like a stick that was this tall is now this tall.
Just
like and that. It drops its leaves every year. It brings its leaves back and it's getting bushier and bushier, you know. And I have my mom's, you know, little tag on it and all that. And I'm like, hey, Ola, you know.
Do your thing.
So yeah, just leave it, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Miss Craft, how do you keep up with your progress? My progress with what?
Growing the plants, or
just being a good human being.
Right.
So the way I keep up with that progress is with the people that I surround myself with. If I'm surrounded by good people, that must mean I'm a good person. And so far, you guys have proven that I must be a pretty okay person because you guys are awesome. You guys are so awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, if we can, Eco, if you can go ahead and let me know what you mean by my progress, and we'll answer that, and then we will cut out for the evening because it's getting a little late. I know my dude has, like, you know, done his 24 hours, and it's time. Yeah. It's time to lay it down.
Yeah, my whole body's like, we going back to sleep early tonight. Yeah, like I'm about to go fall asleep on this couch. And then wake up.
So while I'm waiting on that, I want to extend, you know, my sincerest thank you for hanging out with me tonight. This was fun. Extra special shout out to my co-host Jeff back there that's helping us keep it straight in the chat. So thank you. You know, you guys, like, again, you guys are awesome. I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate you actually coming back, you know, to check us out and do this. Again, if you have any questions at all, my email's down below. You can hit it up to my man Turf over there. He knows what he's talking about now.
A little bit.
If you can't get tomatoes from the J person, I can save enough seeds. I will let you know. It was oh, thank you. I would love to try them. Please, you know, that's one of my favorite. I love yellow tomatoes. So that would be awesome. Thank you. Well, it looks like my friend Eco fell asleep at the wheel. So we're going to call it a night. Hit me up, Eco, in an email. Speaking of which, I'm looking forward to that tasting video you and Gigi are going to put together. So, you know, I'll keep up for that. Thank you very much. And with that, again, I want to wish everybody that celebrates Christmas a very, very, very Merry Christmas. If you're so inclined, my birthday is the 26th, And you can leave me a happy birthday down in the comments down below. I would love that. And I just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And here's to, now I'm gonna save that to the week after. I'm gonna save my 2021 toast to the next week.
Yeah, I'm working on putting together a pretty cool video to wrap up 2020 for me. And the title is gonna be controversial. I'll let you know. Not controversial. It's gonna say why I'm going to miss 2020. So I know people are like,
oh, okay. Yeah, and not to go too far deep into it, you know, as bad as this year has been all the way around, some good stuff has come out of it.
Yeah.
You know, regardless, you've got to look for the silver lining in everything, you know. So, you know, we're all home and we're getting reconnected with our people, like people we just like walk by and not even notice before. We're getting reconnected to them. We're getting reconnected to our old friends because now we got Zoom. Why we never thought this before, I don't know, but now because we can't see each other, we start Zooming with each other. Yes, the 26th of December. Thank you, Iko. Thank you for the birthday wishes. But yeah, it's almost one of those like childlike things. Until they tell you can't do it, you don't want to do it. But now that they told them we can't do it, you know. So yeah, so you get reconnected to some old friends. You actually Zoom and see their faces. You connected to new people, you know, out in our community. You know, if it wasn't for all of us really pumping out these videos, half of us wouldn't know each other. So that's a blessing there.
Yeah.
You just sometimes you have to look for the blessing. Don't waddle in the sadness.
That's right.
So with that,
you just summed up my video. There you go. I won't be doing it now. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Why did you stop me? I told you, Robert, you need to stop me when I do things.
No, I think I kind of hinted to. I'm still going to tell it my own way.
Yes,
so,
please, please do. I look forward to that.
My own way with my own, and of course, you know, I'll have my nice little cool music that goes with it too.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So yes. So to you all, Merry Christmas, a big old guava to you.
Happy.
And I hope it's a wonderful time. I hope you get, you know, awesome gifts from Santa. I hope you get your meter, Jeff. And you have to do a video to show it off if you do.
Christmas present.
Yeah. See you on the flip side. Love y'all. Mwah.